What's happening, everyone? I hope you are well. Ahead of the Arsenal versus Chelsea game on Boxing Day, I am joined by none other than the godfather of football YouTube. It's Mr. AFTV himself. It's Robbie Lyle. Robbie, thank you so much for coming on the channel. How are you?
I've got a little bit of a cold at the moment, so I've had people running away from me.
Yeah, everyone's para now, man.
Yeah, trust me, man. Every time I let off a little cough, man, like everyone's like moving in different directions, you know what I mean? But I think it's just a cold, man. I've been a bit stuffy and stuff like that, but I do feel better today. So.
Good. And considering that you're a little bit under the weather, I do appreciate you finding the time to do this video. Very grateful for that.
Arsenal fans have been under the weather since the season started. You know what I mean? So.
Let's hope it continues on Boxing Day, mate. Do you know what? Just before we get into exploring that fixture and actually having a bit of a deep dive into what's going on at Arsenal, I just need to take a moment to say thank you so much to Nerf for sponsoring this video. They have sponsored a series of videos and they've actually partnered with both Chelsea and Arsenal ahead of this London derby. They have created some incredible content. Check the link below. Make sure you click that. They have made some brilliant videos around, they're using both the Arsenal and the Chelsea players and made some brilliant stuff around their Nerf Ultra 1 blaster. So make sure you check it out and actually have a look at this now.
It's Joe Bear here, and this is the Nerf Ultra Challenge.
Me and Eddie have got experience. We used to play this when we was younger.
I'll let the blaster do the tongs.
Wow, this guy's performing. Oh, where you going, mate? Where you going? Come on, Eddie. Oh! Right, let's go. All he's got to do is blast through. All right, he's on to the next one.
So odd stuff.
Okay, look at the stance.
I've seen B holding it. He doesn't look too comfortable.
Guys, I've set the standard, so... Yeah.
I think it'll be tough. This is out my comfort zone.
That was wide.
This guy is just missing us. He's doubting me and Eddie.
Eddie!
Hey!
I've known Eddie for a minute. He said you were going to be rubbish.
Me?
Yeah. My gosh.
Check the VAR. I think we'll all be terrible, but I'll be the best of the terrible.
Loved it. Very good. It's nice to see the Arsenal players hitting the target for a change as well.
I knew he was going to say something like that. I knew it.
Yeah, very, very impressive. But yeah, again, thank you so much to Nerf for sponsoring this. And Robbie, right, we should get stuck into it now. Obviously, we've got a huge game on Boxing Day, but without focusing on that immediately, generally, what has been going on at Arsenal?
Ooh, it's a mess. I think at the moment, we've hit rock bottom, and I think it's been problems that have been a long time in the making. There's a lot of very average players at Arsenal. They've been there for a long time. They haven't done it over the years. And we've been very reliant on certain players. We've been very reliant, for instance, on Aubameyang. And Aubameyang's been off form. And no one else has stepped up, to the mantle. And then it's just been all round. I mean, even right from the start of the pandemic, there was, always news about Arsenal, redundancies, pay cuts. You didn't hear it about other clubs, just all these things coming out all the time. Gunnosaurus being made redundant and all these things. And then it's just kind of transferred onto the pitch. There's a lot of players in that squad that, they're coming towards the end of their contracts and the manager wants to move them on. And he wasn't able to move them on in the summer. And it's just, I think it's basically a mess that's been a long time in the making and it's now arrived. But even with that, we shouldn't be in the position we are in. I mean, to be 15th is unbelievable. What's been even more shocking for me is the amount of games we've lost at home. I mean, that's always been the thing that's dug us out. If anything, our away form has been poor. But when we get back to the Emirates, we've been pretty formidable there. We don't lose a lot of games at the Emirates, but this season, that's where we've lost most of the games at the Emirates. It's been horrendous.
Yeah.
So, it's an absolute mess at the moment. And it's reflected down onto the pitch. And, how many games have we had that we've been down to 10 men? Those sort of things. How are you going to win a game if you're down to 10 men? How many players have we had sent off this season? And it's just so many issues and so many problems around the club at the moment.
Do you know what, Rob? I find that quite interesting that you picked up on the disciplinary issue, because I saw something quite interesting, and it was that Mikel Arteta lets his players call him Mikel or whatever they want, basically. And I think it was Roy Keane who was saying that that's not acceptable. There needs to be a disciplinary hierarchy people need to refer to the boss as the boss or whatever else, but not just sort of first name terms as if it's your mate. And I understand why Mikel Arteta is saying it's fine. On one level, I do get it. But you know when there's an issue with authority, behave yourself. Is Mikel Arteta's approach here incorrect?
I'm not sure, because if anything, you could say that he's been a bit too much of a disciplinarian, because he has made some very harsh decisions. You know what I mean? Like Guendouzi bombing him out and sending him away on loan. Ozil, you know, not even having him in the squad whatsoever. So he's not a guy that messes around when it comes to discipline issues. So calling a person by their name, I think that's minor. You know what I mean? I don't think that's the issues. I think, and even on the pitch, these discipline issues have just been players losing their head. And I think that's not been really coming from the manager. I think that's when you've got players, they're trying too hard. They're you know, because I don't look at Arsenal players that are down tools, but I see Arsenal players that excuse me, one of the coughs there. Arsenal players that are very low on confidence and are just like trying too hard and doing stupid things.
Right.
So that's how I put it.
And what sort of role, like when I've been discussing the issues with Arsenal recently, I've been focusing a fair bit of my wrath on somebody like Kia Jarabchian. I think his influence at Arsenal, when you look at signings, particularly the Brazilian lads, David Luiz, Willian, is your anger kind of as a support base generally aimed at Arteta, or is it higher than that? Are you thinking perhaps Kroenke's getting it wrong, perhaps Edu's getting it wrong? What role is Jarabchian playing? How high up do you think the problems at Arsenal go?
It goes right to the top. To me, you know, the owners of the club are the ones that are really, you know, responsible for this mess. Sorry, Rory.
Is that someone at your door?
Yeah, you know, it's a delivery.
That's got an Amazon. Yeah, run and get it.
It's a PS5, actually.
Don't worry about me. I'll just wait. No dramas. See what's happening on Twitter, I suppose. Anyone been up to anything nice? What should I do? Anything I can show you? Shall I see some of the Christmas presents I've bought people? What else has been going on? Snow's coming down. Got nothing. I'm totally out. Let me see if there's anything I can show you here. There's a picture I took on the tube. Do you want to see that? Look, that was taken on the tube yesterday. Completely and utterly empty. Unbelievable, eh? Unbelievable. Central London on the tube, empty. Robbie must have a big house, you know. How far can the front door be? Or he just doesn't want to do this video. He's had enough of me chatting about David Luiz and Willian. He's got the hump, he's gone. He's faked. He's done that door, but he's got that doorbell app. He's faked it and gone. Well, a bit awkward. See if there's anything else I can show you. Okay, I've shown you the picture on the tube. Oh look, here's a nice one of, it's me and Adam McCullough. You can see my setup there. Anything else you want to see? Here's a nice one. Here's something you'll enjoy. Save to the camera roll. What else we got? Oh look, there's a tweet I did. Can you read that? It's a picture of the Spurs-Leicester result with the lyrics, "So here it is, Merry Christmas, everybody's having fun." Anything else been happening? Want to see my family? Where are they? One sec. It's me, my wife, my kid. It's at Paddington Recreation Ground in Maida Vale. Anyone who's from London will know. My latest golf strikes. I'm happy with that. Some booze I recently bought. Going to make a cocktail Christmas Day, so I bought some booze. It's called Agua de Bolivia. Could be good. Okay, here's a quiz for you. Here's a quiz. Until the big man gets back, I've got a quiz. That is a photograph I took on a London street the other day. It is also the cover of an album, arguably one of the best albums ever written. Have a look at the street. Comment below with the album. What is the name of the album that has that street on the cover?
One eternity later.
Oh, what else can I show you? Oh, he's back.
Back, sorry.
Fantastic. Because I can't edit, Rob, all that's going in. It's just been me chatting to people. I wasn't sure if you were if you just had enough. Faked it with the doorbell app.
People bring in, and then you got signed.
Yeah. Did you get anything nice?
Huh?
What'd you get? Do you know what they are? What are the deliveries?
I know one of them. Yeah, it's a PS5.
Ooh, for a present for yourself, or you treating somebody?
No. Present for someone.
Ah, very generous. Okay, right, Rob, should we pick it up?
Right, yeah.
Do you know what we should do? We should obviously have a chat about. There's a massive match. You know, the Boxing Day fixture. Almost 12 months to the day since Chelsea played Arsenal at the Emirates. That game went very well for Chelsea. I mean, we didn't play very well, but we nicked a win at Tammy Abraham.
Lucky.
You were great. I think there were some bad errors as well. I think Jorginho looped one in. Yeah, exactly.
Jorginho should have been sent off. Remember that?
That's right. That is right. How are you feeling? How are you feeling ahead of this Boxing Day derby?
You can't be confident, can you? I mean, you guys are playing really well. Even though Chelsea are a funny club, they've been a bit up and down. You know, I mean, I know you lost your couple of games prior to winning against West Ham the other night, and even that game, when I was watching it, it didn't look like a 3-0 game. You know what I mean? It was quite close for a long periods of time. But you've got obviously the favourites are Chelsea because you guys, where you are and where we are. I'm just looking for the team to just turn up in one game. Just, you know, there's certain players there, as I said, they need to turn up for the fans. They need to turn up for the manager. But it's so hard to predict. Our home form has been terrible. I think we've really suffered from not having fans at the games. Because as I said, you know, I mean, the Emirates has always been a place where we haven't really lost many games. So I don't know, man. It's very difficult to be confident going into that game, you know, because you've got one team that's on the ascendancy and you've got another team that's dropping like a stone. And so, but there are some quality players in the team that if they turn up, I mean, I'm hoping that Martinelli, who looked really, really sharp when he played in the first half against Man City the other night, I'm hoping that, you know, possibly he'll be fit for the game. I don't think Aubameyang's going to be fit, so that's going to be a massive miss. But other players have got to step up.
Yeah, if Arsenal are to win it, so from my perspective, what do I need to be scared of? What has to happen within this Arsenal team for you to win this game?
There's not a lot to be scared of. I'll be honest with you at the moment. That's just me being real. I mean, the players that I'd say you'd be scared of, I don't think they'll play. So Aubameyang won't play. If he was playing, you've got to be scared of him because he's a guy only needs one chance and he can score, even though he's not he's not been on great form this season. But the game before he got injured, he scored a nice goal, great finish, and we was thinking, lift off, and then he goes and gets injured. And Thomas Partey, if he was playing, he's looked a real player. Our last win, actually, which was away at Man United, he was instrumental in that. He was just bossing the midfield. But without those two players, you know, as I said, maybe Martinelli. I mean, remember that game when we played you? We were down to 10 men.
He ran the length of the pitch, didn't he? Yeah.
Yeah, another game when we were down to 10 men, right? But remember, he played brilliantly in that. He's the sort of guy that he can provide a spark. But apart from that, scared of, there's nothing else really, if I'm being honest.
Do you know who I am a bit scared of? And I think this is going to sound very hollow from your perspective, but I've seen enough in his performances over the years to know that he can pull it out the bag on the odd occasion. Have you seen anything in Willian to suggest that I should be nervous?
Nothing.
Really? Is it been that bad, Rob?
Willian has been one of the worst players at Arsenal. And I remember at the start of the season, I had a bit of banter with some Chelsea fans because I was saying to them, I was going, you know what, Willian could actually. So when we first signed, we were signing Willian, I was like, why are we buying another Chelsea reject? And I'm like, you know, I was dead against it. And then I started to think about it. You know, as a fan, you try to convince yourself that actually a good signing. So I was like, actually, you know what? He had a good season for Chelsea last year. You know, they wanted to keep him, so it's not like they were trying to get rid of him. They did want to keep him, but they didn't want to give him as long a contract as he wanted. Maybe he still might have something in him. He's Premier League ready. But honestly, he has been terrible. Terrible. He sums up. So you spoke earlier about Kia Direction and some of the signings. I mean, he sums it up. He has been absolutely dreadful. And I personally don't really want to see him playing in this game.
Really? Is it
his stats in the last game? I remember a couple of the guys done some of his stats in the last game, right, when they were doing their review of the loss against our last loss in the Premier League. There's been so many, yeah. And his stats were basically
Everton.
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 His stats: pass completion 0, shots on target 0, attacking, every single thing was 0.
Really.
The first goal in that game, he doesn't close down his man. We all knew before the game, Everton's strength is don't get crosses into the box to Calvert-Lewin. He leaves Iwobi wide open. He just not even makes an attempt to try and close him down. He's just basically jogging.
I've seen it all before, Rob. I've seen it all before.
Absolutely terrible, man. You can have him back.
No, you're welcome. That deal is final.
I honestly, I don't think. I mean, and this is one of the things that Arteta's been coming under a lot of criticism from Arsenal fans, because he's been bad all season. The first game I thought he played against Fulham, he looked really good. But apart from that, he's been poor, right? But Arteta's been playing him. So
is that due to a lack of options, though? Is there anybody you think should be there?
Because, you know, we've been crying out and saying, right, play Pepe or play one of the youngsters, Reece Nelson or something. But he seems to really like Willian, and none of us can figure out why. Is it something
contractual?
That's what I'm saying. Is it an influence from Kia Direction and stuff like that? Because for me, Willian should not be playing in that Chelsea game.
Yeah,
you know, I know sometimes people turn up against their old team.
And that's what I'm worried about. Yeah.
Well, we was thinking that when we played Tottenham, we was like, oh, he's got a great record against Tottenham.
Yeah.
Over the years, he was poor against Tottenham. So I personally don't want to see Willian playing in that game.
No. Do you know what? On some level, I don't either, though. He's just, I don't really want him to play either. Like, your appraisal of him makes me think that I do want him to play, but I just have that fear. You know, the former player fear. Do you don't think there's anything there?
Listen, if he's a guy, right, he needs to turn up, because he's been very, very disappointing. I mean, even, you know, players don't like when fans criticise them, but players like him, I'll be like, go away and sit down and think about what you've done since you've come to Arsenal, right? And then you'll understand why fans are very frustrated. And I think he's lucky that fans are not in the ground.
Really? Has it got that bad? Yeah.
Yeah. No, he's one of the main people that, you know, people are on it. They're on Willian hard, you know what I mean? Because they look on it and they think, you've come from Chelsea. Number one, we weren't, you know, I think almost universally, when we were linked and we were going to get Willian, almost universally, most fans were like, nah, you don't want that. Go and get someone else, right? We got it, and he's not produced. Yeah.
And he's on a fortune as well, isn't he?
And he's on a fortune.
Yeah, it's not okay. Do you know what, Rob? Just before I let you go to wrap your Christmas presents ahead of tomorrow, can I just ask your feelings on Arteta? Like, are you in favour of persevering with him? Do you think it's gone too far? Like, if you look at the Southampton model, Southampton looked like they should have sacked their manager a year ago. They lost 9-0, then they lost to two consecutive games after that. And at the time, you thought they have to let this guy go. He does not have what it takes to manage Southampton. The board backed him, and the board deserve credit for that because he's turned it round. Do you want to see your board do that, back the manager, or do you think it's gone too far for Arteta and you need a change?
I think initially I was like, you know, let's make a change. This is Arsenal Football Club. We can't be in 50. Sam Allardyce talking about how, you know, we're in the relegation fight with them and all that. It's embarrassing. And I'm looking at it and I'm saying, even though there's a lot of, I see all the problems that's in that squad, but we still shouldn't be in the position we're in. So maybe it needs someone of more experience to come in and steady the ship. But then I started to look at it and say, right, but if they are truly going to stick with him, then they have to back him. And I don't mean back him verbally. Oh, we're backing our manager. I mean back him financially. Back him so he can bring quality players into the team. Because when I look at your squad, your owners backed the manager. If Frank Lampard gets sacked at the end of this season because he hasn't achieved certain targets, he can't moan because he's been given the tools to compete. Yeah. He's been given the tools to compete. I look at Solskjaer at United, and I was looking at their game last night, and look at their squad. Look at the players they can bring. Rashford off the bench, Martial. They've got Cavani,
Van der Beek they bought in, didn't they? Yeah.
Van der Beek, Pogba, Bruno Fernandes. Then you look at our midfield. So we've really got low quality at the moment. So if they are going to back him by making him get the players that he wants.
Yeah. It doesn't feel like that's the model at Arsenal at the moment, though, does it?
Well, then they're not backing him. So then, I blame them. I don't blame, it's very hard. I find it sometimes hard to blame Arteta because I see how's he supposed to succeed with the squad that he has? Last year we finished 8th. We're probably the 8th. We probably are about the 8th, 9th best squad in the Premier League. So that's probably where we do deserve to be right now. Now, to me, I want Arsenal to compete for the league. And competing for the league doesn't always mean you're going to win the league, but competing. That means that we're up there, we're in with a shout. Will it be Chelsea? Will it be City, United, Liverpool, Arsenal? We're not in that conversation right now. And that's because the owners, they're not backing it. In the summer, they gave him Partey. That's quality. Gabriel, who's coming, quality, right? But that was it.
Yeah, it's not enough, is it?
We sold a brilliant goalkeeper to Aston Villa, who's been having a great season because he wanted to be number one. Fair enough. We had Leno and we had Martinez, 2 great keepers, yeah? We got to replace him with a keeper. We saw the other night how poor he was. That keeper cost £1 million.
Yeah, it's quite good considering he's $1 million, isn't it? Yeah, I know, it's appalling.
We're going to do it. Then compare that to you guys, where you bought the most expensive goalkeeper in the world. You gave him a chance. He bombed out. You went and bought another keeper. Spent like a 20 million on him, a quality keeper. Yeah. That's the difference. That's backing your manager. That's saying to the.
I'll tell you what, Rob. If Leno gets injured, you're in trouble, aren't you?
Serious trouble. Yeah. Serious. We need to go out and get a goalkeeper in the
in January. Yeah.
In January, because I saw Runnison in the Europa League games. This was not me. When I saw him start the other night, I was already worried. Because I've seen him in the Europa League and he's looked dodgy. Yeah. And I was like, hey, man. And I was like, I'm worried now. All of a sudden, I'm very worried about this game. And he was even worse than I thought. Yeah. So, but that's what
that's what you get for £1 million, isn't it? That's what you get for £1 million.
Exactly.
Yeah. I know, it's a shambles.
Back the manager. You're going to back the manager. Don't say, not verbally, we're behind him, we're backing him. Prove it.
Yeah.
Prove it.
Do you know what, Rob? I can't say. I would love to say that I've feel sorry for you and feel your pain, but having been to Highbury and been serenaded by your fans constantly with you won the league in black and white, Carnu from the corner flag, I'm afraid that my sympathy is about as deep as a Rizzler paper.
We don't want no sympathy. That's the one thing, and that's the other annoying thing for me as an Arsenal fan when Chelsea fans and other fans start saying, I had a Flex was on the phone to me earlier and he's going, I feel sorry for you guys. That's the worst thing.
No.
Saying, when your opposition fans start saying, right, that your deadly rivals start saying, we feel sorry.
Pitying you. Yeah. It's not acceptable.
All gone wrong.
Yeah, but the thing is, Rob, as well, I know Flex. Like, I see him as a good mate, right? He's done that on purpose. He doesn't feel sorry for you. He knows that it winds you up. He knows exactly what he's doing there.
But the thing is, right, the thing is as well, is like, we've got to get, we're not as bad as we shouldn't be in 15th. We shouldn't be in this situation. As bad as things are, but then the only positive I'm going to take from it is that sometimes you have to hit rock bottom before you can come back up. And maybe that's what's happening to us right now.
That is an incredible spin on a terrible situation. You've managed to turn it to positive. I'm impressed. That was intellectually brilliant, Rob. Thank you so much for finding the time. Last thing before you go, can I push you for a score prediction for Boxing Day, please?
Do you know what? I'm going to back my team. I don't know.
Of course you are.
I don't know why I'm backing them. There's no evidence to support it. Maybe because it's Christmas. 2-1 to Arsenal.
2-1. I'm going to go 4-0 to Chelsea. Robbie, as always, it's a pleasure. Thank you for finding the time. I hope you have a brilliant Christmas, and I'll see you very soon. Cheers.
Cool.